James for the untouchable, true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I want to sound off on Jaron Ennis versus David Avanesyan. I literally just got done watching the fight and just seeing what all the fuss is about. I mean, it wasn't much to watch. It was 5 rounds. Boots blasted Avanesyan out of there pretty easily. Pretty routine fight for him. The kind of fight you would expect for Boots Ennis at home against, the European level, fringe world level, welterweight like Avanesyan. Now, so I get Boots credit. A lot of time we've been seeing it a lot in boxing. Guys coming home to lose, or guys coming to their hometowns, fighting in their hometowns, and not performing up to par. Not giving people a show and dominant performance. Shakur last week he won, but he didn't like ooh and ah. Tabru Matias fought Leon Paul in Puerto Rico, lost. So homecoming fights are always tricky for fighters. So credit to him for not just winning, but winning in spectacular fashion and not playing with your food. What I'll say is this about the fight: Jaron Ennis, he looked like, I kid you not, like this fight was very reminiscent for me of when Boots fought Sergey Lipinets, because Lipinets and Avanesyan had the same sort of build, a short, stocky fighters, high guard fighters, and just like in the Lipinets fight, Boots looked like 3 sizes bigger than Avanesyan. I mean, it looked like a welterweight fighting a super middleweight. Jaron Ennis is an absolute gargoyle of the welterweight division. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I know people are gonna say he's a weight bully. You can't fault him for that. He's huge. He's absolutely huge. Now, one point I wanted to talk about with this fight was Boots made it a point to kind of sit in the pocket, doing the exact opposite of what Shakur did last week. People were complaining that Shakur wouldn't sit and fight in the pocket, and they complained about it. Boots is sitting in the pocket, getting hit every now and then by Avanesyan, and people are still complaining about it, saying he has no defense, which is bullshit, because anybody who's watched Boots fights knows he has good defense. He's very good at rolling punches. Even when he gets hit, he's very good at rolling the punches. It's very seldom, if ever, you see Jaron Ennis get hit with the full force, the full brunt of a punch. Even if he gets hit, he rolls the shot really well. He's really good at that. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's realistic for people to expect a fighter who, in this particular fight against this particular opponent, Jaron Ennis is coming into the fight with a very offensive-minded game plan to deliver a big knockout in front of his hometown fans, right? Mind you, he's fighting a guy, Avanesyan, who is a volume puncher, who's not afraid to let his hands go, who's made a living off of letting his hands go, right? So he's gonna get hit every now and then. That's just the nature of that style matchup. You get an offensive-minded fighter who's significantly bigger than his opponent. He knows he can take the shots. He's gonna take some shots. Again, he was rolling. If you go back and you watch, he's rolling a lot of those shots, and it got to the point where it was like, okay, Boots finds the big shot in the 5th round. He puts out Avanesyan. He gets the knockout victory. Now the question becomes, and the debate amongst all the boxing fans on whether it be Instagram, YouTube, in the comment section is he good enough to beat Terrence Crawford? Which, by the way, full disclaimer, I don't think Terrence Crawford will fight Jaron Ennis, because Terrence Crawford is 36 years old. He's reached the stratosphere in his career now where, monetarily speaking, money-wise, he's a 7, 8. He's really like an 8-figure fighter, or close to being an 8-figure fighter, depending on who he fights. But he's definitely a high 7-figure, damn near 8-figure fighter at the Spence fight. So he's not going to fight Boots, because Boots is not going to give the financial incentive for him to do that. That's just the truth. That's why when people like me interview Brian Bomac McIntyre and ask him the question of that fight, they dismiss Boots. They do the same thing to Boots that was done to them when Earl Spence was the A-side and all that stuff. Bud got A-sided by Spence. Now Bud's A-siding Boots, and the cycle continues in boxing, right? But if they were to fight, let's talk about it. If they were to fight, if somehow, let's just say if Eddie Hearn is able to be successful and keep Boots active, get him his 3-4 fights, drive that value up, make it to the point where, Boots' value is so high now, it commands a Crawford fight. If they were to fight, I'm not going to move off my original prediction. My original prediction last summer when I made a video about it and broke it down for you guys is I think if they fought, I think 2 things would happen. I think Terrence Crawford's knockout streak could come to an end. But I think Terrence Crawford will beat Jaron Ennis because I just think he's got better feet than Jaron Ennis. I think Jaron Ennis, people aren't talking about it enough. Yes, he's athletic. Yes, he's got a lot of speed. And yes, he is versatile. But one thing I'm starting to see in a lot of his fights, and one common theme, especially at welterweight, is I think he's a little bit more reliant upon his size than people realize. When he fights a guy like Terrence Crawford, he's not going to have that significant size advantage that he's been used to having against guys like Avanesyan and Lipinets and these guys been fighting. So it's actually going to come down to in that fight, is he the more skilled fighter? Is he the harder, more aggressive puncher? And those things don't even matter if he can't even get his feet in the proper position to throw the punches. So I still think Terrence Crawford would beat Boots, but I don't think he would stop Boots. I think it'd be a great fight. I hope that Eddie Hearn does his job with Boots now that he's got him, and he just boxes this guy 3-4 times a year. Make him the biggest thing in Philadelphia since Allen Iverson. That really should be the goal. Like, Eddie Hearn's whole objective as Jaron Ennis' promoter is to make him the biggest Philadelphia sports athlete since Allen Iverson. And I think he can, because last night they sold roughly 14,000 tickets from what I was reading, which broke the record that was held for 40 years for a fight in Philadelphia, previously by Marvin Hagler when he fought Benny Briscoe. They surpassed that. So Boots in Philadelphia, not only could he be a draw, he could be a big draw. So my thing is, I think there's about a year window for Eddie Hearn to really drive Boots' value up as a ticket seller, as a commercial entity in the sport of boxing. And those numbers are a good indicator of what he could become if you box him consistently in Philadelphia. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to make. It's just this Jaron Ennis fight to me was basically just like the Sergey Lipinets fight 2.0. It was Boots coming in with a very offensive-minded game plan against a high guard volume puncher and just beating the hell out of him. You know, so good for him. Shout out to Avanesyan's not no punk. I give Avanesyan his due, man. Avanesyan, he's not no like A+ fighter. Been watching him for a lot of years. You know, I remember when he fought the corpse of Shane Mosley like 7 or 8 years ago. But he's done well for himself. He's made a lot of noise at European level. I remember when Josh Kelly was a big thing in the sport of boxing, and he popped that hype train real quick and knocked him out. And he stepped up to the plate. He fought Crawford. He stepped to the plate. He fought Boots. So you gotta give Avanesyan his due, his respect for fighting two of the most talented fighters in the division. He's just not on that level. If he still wants to box, I'm sure there's still some guys European level that I like to see him fight. Like I know Conor Benn can't get no big fights. I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with like a Conor Benn or even like a Pistol Pete Dobson. There's still decent fights out there for him, Avanesyan, or even like if in a couple of fights, maybe Jaleel Hackett could fight him. You know, there's still good fights out there for Avanesyan if he wants to box, but I don't think he's ever gonna fight at this particular level again. But yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.